let's play America's favorite game, function, not a function. Okay? So, what's the rules to function, not a function? You've played it before. What's the one rule in function, not a function? Looking at a graph. Okay, so you'll have a picture. Okay, so a picture flashes on the screen. And then you have to determine if it is a function or not. How do we determine if a picture is a function? What kind of line test? Vertical line test. Okay? So the vertical line test is our one rule, and it is used to determine if what we are looking at is or isn't a function. Okay? So lots of people use their pencil, some people use their finger, okay? Some people use the edge of a calculator or something. Slide it across. Okay? So what am I looking at as I slide that vertical line across my graph? Double touches, right? Okay, so if my vertical line touches twice, not a function. If it only ever touches once, function. Right? Everybody good with the rules? Okay? Alright, good. And we've played that before. We've done that before. You've done it a bunch of times in previous math classes too. Today, I'm going to add rule number 2. Rule number 2 is going to deal with inverses. And rule number 2 is, oops, I should scroll down a little bit. Rule number 2 is the horizontal line test. So now instead of taking a vertical line and sliding it horizontally across my graph, I'm going to take a horizontal line and I'm going to slide it vertically across my graph. And what the horizontal line test tells me is it tells me if the inverse of what I'm looking at is or isn't a function. Okay? So vertical line test tells me if what I'm looking at is a function. Horizontal line test tells me if its inverse is a function. Okay? Now, if we ever would have, and we will, but if we ever would have a function, let me take that back. If, I like this better, if f of x passes both so if f of x passes both the vertical and the horizontal line test, then it is said to be called one-to-one. Okay? So if it passes the vertical line test, it's a function. If it passes the horizontal line test, its inverse is a function. And then we can call f of x one-to-one. Okay? So, f of x equals 2x squared. What should this function, or excuse me, what should this relation really, because I don't know if it's a function yet or not, what should this look like? You can either base it off of prior knowledge of these type of functions or these type of relations, or you could base it off of end behavior, or you could base it off of, you could quick plot some points. Okay? What should it look like? Should look like a U, right? Should be a parabola. Okay? Opening up, right? Okay? End behavior tells me that I have an even degree with a positive lead coefficient. So my ends should be going in the same direction, and that direction is up because of the positive lead coefficient. Okay? Okay? So that's what it should look like. Here is, in fact, the actual picture. Is f of x, which is what I'm looking at, is what I'm looking at a function? What I'm looking at, is that a function? Yes or no? Why?
Because there's not like 2 points that the line would hit.
Which kind of line? We got 2 of them now.
Vertical line.
Okay, so I'm looking at a vertical line here for this particular one to decide if this is a function or not. Okay, so I have a vertical line for this one. Slide it across the graph. It appears to only ever touch in one spot. Okay, provided that that continues, that is a function. I would agree that f of x is a function. Passes my vertical line test. Is the inverse of f a function? Is the inverse a function? Yes or no? Why not, TJ? It touches twice. Right? So that fails the horizontal line test. Is this function one-to-one? Why not, Lex? Didn't pass one of the tests. So this is not one-to-one. Okay? All right? What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to try that one. Is it a function? Is the inverse a function? Is it one-to-one? And if it is one-to-one, find me the inverse. Oops, missed. There it goes. So that's what you should have gotten it to look like. It's got an odd degree with the lead coefficient, so it's going to go up like that. It's going to go up and to the right, down and to the left, okay, with a little bit of a flattening out stage. And this one flattens out at -2. Right? It's a y-intercept of -2. Okay? So that's what my graph should look like. Is that a function? Is f of x a function? Yes or no? Vertical line test. Pass, doesn't pass. Oops. Pass, doesn't pass. Passes. So function, not a function.
It's a function.
Inverse. Function, not a function. Why? The only spot would be kind of like in here that it might, but if we were to zoom in on that, it just flattens out, but it never gets truly horizontal. So it does pass the horizontal line test.
Does a double root have anything to do with it?
Nope.
It doesn't matter.
Nope. Okay. So since f of x passed both tests, it is said that f of x is, it's 1 to 1. So I can find the inverse of f of x. So f of x is equal to x cubed minus 2. That would be like saying y equals x cubed minus 2, which would be x equals y cubed minus 2. And then I have to solve that for y, correct? So that would be x plus 2 equals y cubed. Cube root of x plus 2 equals y. Yes? Final answer. Yes? Be honest. Show of hands. How many people put that as their answer? Nobody? What's wrong with it? It's not an inverse form. This would be marked wrong on Monday. Okay? Because you didn't do step 4. Step 4 was you got to put it back into function notation. Okay? Green is wrong. Orange is correct. Okay? That's why it was its own step from yesterday. It was its own step. Step 4. Put it back in inverse notation. Okay? Try that one. Same thing. What should it look like? Is it a function? Is the inverse a function? If it is, if they're both 1 to 1, what is the inverse? Etc., etc., etc. What should it look like? Making you think. What should this one look like? Nope. Right? Should look like a V because it's an absolute value. Okay? So it should look like a V. Down 2 from the origin. Oops, missed again. Oops, different. Whoa. Okay, so it should look like a V. Is it a function? Yeah, it is a function. Passes my vertical line test. Is the inverse a function? Inverse a function. Negative. Touches once and touches twice. Does that make it be 1-to-1? Does not make it be 1-to-1. So therefore don't have to find the inverse. Okay? And that would be hard in this one anyways, because we'd have to get the y out of the absolute value, and it would end up being two different functions. Okay? All right? So, today, I've got 2 homeworks for you, because test is on Monday. Okay? So I've got a white 6.4 worksheet for you today. I'll pass these out momentarily. And I've got a salmon review worksheet for you today. Those 2, along with the book 4.5, the worksheet from 4.5, and yesterday's 6.4 book homework, those are all due on Monday. Monday you also have your test, single-sided, or I shouldn't say single-sided, single-page, 2-sided, okay? And I need you to bring your Chromebook on Monday, okay? Because we'll have some data. We're going to take the eyeball melting red worksheet, put it into a Google form, and then I'm going to collect the eyeball melting red worksheet. Okay? All right? So